everybody, welcome back to the Brie Myself and God channel, where I'm bringing you all things Brie and all things God. And welcome to episode 2 of the Cuffing Season Chronicles. I've created this series because this is a time of year when there is such a heavy emphasis on dating and relationships, and I just wanted to spread some peace and positivity, some advice, some content to really speak to things that we might be dealing with regard to relationships this time of year, or any time of year at that. My first episode was called 5 Signs He's Wasting Your Time, Sis. Highly recommend you check that out. And this week, I'm going to be jumping into a topic that is close to my heart because I've been dealing with it personally, and that is 5 things to do when it doesn't work out. I want to speak to some of us that are dealing with relationships that might have gone left. That could be romantic relationships, that could also be friendships. I've dealt with both falling out or ending in ways that I hadn't hoped or expected in the last couple of weeks. And so I just want to share some things that have been helpful for me in processing that and moving on in a healthy way. So without further ado, let's get to it. The first thing I would recommend doing when it doesn't work out is giving yourself space to feel and to heal. The reason I say that is because sometimes when things don't work out, especially if you know that the person maybe wasn't really the best person for you anyway, whether that be a friend or a relationship, it can be easy to feel like, oh, well, I should just be happy. I should just be fine because that needed to be over anyway. That was toxic anyway. But we're human, and that's not how that always works. Maybe they were toxic, but maybe you liked their sense of humor. Maybe that it wasn't going anywhere, but you liked spending time with them in the meantime, and it's hard to deal with the void that's left by their absence. Or maybe some things were said in the process of the thing ending or not working out that were hurtful to you, and you're like, dang, I feel rejected, I feel put down in some way or another. Whatever it is that you might be feeling after a relationship or friendship doesn't work out, let yourself feel that. I have given myself space to cry, even in recent weeks, over a guy that I knew, or I was able to figure out early on that it didn't have that much long-term potential, but I was hurt that he stopped pursuing me and I felt rejected. And I've also given myself space to cry over a friendship that maybe wasn't even healthy, but I'm still sad that it ended, or I'm sad to find out that this person wasn't who I thought they were. So give yourself space to feel. Your feelings are valid. They are worthy of expression. Give yourself space to feel. And the second piece, giving yourself space to heal. When you go into a space to express your feelings, do it in a way that feels healing for you. Do it in a way that feels cathartic. For me, sometimes that means journaling. Sometimes that means praying. Sometimes that means crying. Sometimes that means venting or going to therapy. Sometimes that means really working to intentionally let go of whatever it was that hurt you. Whatever you need to do, just give yourself space to feel and heal. And if you want more tips on healing from past pain, I will plug a video that I made all about that topic and 5 things that you can do to support your healing process. So that's number 1. Number 2, lean on your support system. Sometimes processing does need to be done alone. Sometimes there's just things that you have to work out for yourself. But in combination with processing on your own, it's really important to lean on the people that are there for you. Even if it feels like a small situation. Even that guy who I was only talking to for like a month, I still reached out to my friends and was like, yeah, I'm sad. I feel rejected by him. I feel like, why doesn't he see that I'm worth this or that, or whatever I was feeling. But I told them, and even if I felt like I should have felt differently, I expressed my feelings to my support system honestly. And what did they do? They built me up. They reminded me of who I am. They reminded me of what I'm worth. They reminded me that better is out there for me. And sometimes you just need other people to speak that to you. And when I say your support system, for me, that also includes leaning on God. Because for me, in times of heartache, God has been so essential in speaking truth and encouragement to my heart that I needed to hear. Even through music. Like I listened to a song this morning, and it was like a gospel song, and it was saying, I'm seen and I am known. And just being reminded that I'm seen and known by God was so healing for me. So lean on your support system. Receive love from God. Receive love from people. But also, number 3, receive love from yourself. My third tip is to affirm yourself when you are dealing with a relationship that didn't work out. Remind yourself that you're still that one, never that two. Remind yourself of all the things that you love about yourself. Remind yourself that that person's inability to love you or love you well does not speak to actually how lovely you really are. Remind yourself that even though that person might have walked out of your life, there are still people who love you and that you are worthy of that. And also know that sometimes the reason it's so important to affirm yourself is because sometimes it can feel like when someone didn't love us well or they walked away from us that something's wrong with us. But so many times a person's inability to love you doesn't actually have anything to do with your own faults or flaws. It might just be where they are in their life, or a lack of compatibility, or lack of maturity, or all types of things. Maybe they just weren't meant for you. So just remind yourself that this loss, this ended relationship, this ended friendship does not reflect your worth or just how amazing you are. And especially, I want to say, if things were said about you by that person that were hurtful, remind yourself that it's not true. Remind yourself that the things that they might have complained about you are the very things that people in your life love about you, and that you deserve to be surrounded by people who do love you. And that's actually my fourth tip. Number 4 is validate your standards for relationships. And by that, I mean, sometimes when things don't work out with someone, we find ourselves asking, did I just expect too much? Are my standards too high? Is it impossible to find a significant other or a friend who can really give me what I'm looking for? And I would say that might not necessarily be the case. Your standards might be fine where they are, and that person just wasn't able to meet them. As long as your expectations are not unhealthy, unreasonable, toxic, or codependent in some way, you shouldn't feel like you have to compromise them. There is someone out there who will be what you're looking for. It might take patience, it might take some trial and error, but it shouldn't take you lowering your standards for you to end up in a relationship that is healthy and that makes you happy. And another thing is, the standards that you have for yourself are a form of self-protection. So if somebody had to leave your life because they weren't healthy for you, they weren't loving you well, that might be a form of redirection and protection. Even if they had to reject you in the process for it to end, that rejection might be redirection or protection. And that's really important because your heart is worth protecting. Your future and your calling is worth protecting. And unhealthy relationships can damage your heart and hinder your calling in ways that you might not see until it fully plays itself out. So you might want to really be thankful that that relationship or that friendship ended when it did and wasn't able to cause further damage in your life than what it did by that point. So affirm your standards. Know that you are worthy of the healthy relationship that you desire and that it is possible. And last but not least, I would say pursue joy. Do things that make you happy with people that make you happy, including yourself. I had a friend recently, when it didn't work out with her and a guy, she bought herself a little paint set and set herself up for like a little sip and paint night all by herself, just a self-love date. And that brought her joy. For me, when I had the last couple weeks, I had an amazing night with my girls last night. We danced, we ate, we played games. It was so fun. Pursue joy. Fill your space with joy. Fill your space with things that remind you that you still have a full life, even if that one relationship is no longer a part of it. Remind yourself that you are still so loved, even if you're not receiving love from that particular person. So those are my 5 tips on things to do when it doesn't work out. Give yourself space to feel and to heal. Lean on your support system. Affirm yourself. Validate your standards and pursue joy. You are worthy of all of those things, and you might do those things in a wash, rinse, and repeat type of way. Doing them all once doesn't necessarily mean that you're immediately healed and ready to move forward. I had an amazing night with my girls last night, and I cried in the shower this morning because I was still upset about what happened with one of my relationships. The process looks different for all of us. There's no right way to move forward. There's no right way to heal. You are worthy of healing and moving forward in the way that you need to. So give yourself that space. Give yourself that grace. So that is it. Those are my 5 tips on what to do when it doesn't work out. And I really hope they bless you. I really hope they support your healing process. And I hope that you're enjoying this series so far. And if you are, you should tune back in next Sunday because I'm doing weekly uploads during the Cuffing Season Chronicles series. Thanks again for watching the Bring Myself and God channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, share, and subscribe if you like this video. Don't forget to check out my other videos, 5 signs of toxic relationships, 5 keys to heal from past pain, 5 signs he's wasting your time, sis, or anything else on my channel that catches your eye. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Oh, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Bring Myself and God. All right, y'all, have a good one.